Oh, welcome to Gus Tech. I didn't see you there. So if you were confused by that intro, I was too. Today we're going to be talking about the Sennheiser GSX 1200. This is a digital audio converter, which is a fancy way of saying DAC. Okay, that was stupid. That wasn't even a good joke. Okay, let me get this thing open here. All right, what is a DAC? A DAC is a digital audio converter. No, I'm just kidding. It's a fantastic way to, regardless of your system and your computer, amplify the sound that you hear coming in, obviously from your games, your movies, your, whatever else you look for online. You get what I'm talking, YouTube videos what I'm talking about. And it also improves the quality of your output through your microphones or other devices. So they look pretty small and simple, and you can see in the background here, we have a couple of them, okay? They're just sitting here, doop-a-doop, right? One of those is a little bit older, but they're fantastic. They generally overall help the sound quality and reproduction of the sound for your computer. It's this big, it's tiny. This thing is the GSX 1200. It's awesome. I love this little device because it's nice from an aesthetic standpoint. It looks really fantastic. The 1200 is the improved version, quote unquote improved, mainly because you can actually daisy chain these together, and you can have, 8 of these strung together in your LAN party where you have lag-free communication in your comms, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things out there, because so many people kind of forget that people that play video games do have friends. I also forget it. If you want to be my friend, just send us a link to your Facebook profile. I'm just kidding, don't do that. All right. So taking a look at the overall construction of the GSX 1200, it feels nice and solid in your hand. Again, it's going to sit on your desk. You're not going to be handling it much. It does have a little kickstand here that you can pop out and close. I always have mine popped out. The big silver portion becomes the volume wheel once this is plugged in. Again, this is all powered through USB, and so once it's actually plugged in, everything lights up and looks fantastic. If we look at the input-outputs on the rear, you can see the daisy chain options A and B. That's again if you have the 1200, not the 1000, and it'll allow you to daisy chain them together. Additionally, you'll note that there is a speaker input, there is a microphone, and a headset input. When I am using this for my own personal use, I have all 3 of these plugged in. It allows me to switch from my headset to my speakers seamlessly. It's literally a tap of a button. It's pretty neat. One thing that I love about this DAC versus quite a few other ones on the market is that you can save profiles to this DAC specifically. So you have 4 options for profiles, and they will light up here in the corners down at the bottom, right, left, and top right. And what's fantastic about it is that it's really easy to change it. It's really just a simple tap, and it's a nice little, capacitive touch. You just kind of tap it, changes the profile. Now you have your speaker profile set up for blasting music for your neighbors to get upset with you. You push the other one. Now it's all set up for you to play video games and to get destroyed playing Counter-Strike. You tap another one, and it's for, browsing videos online. Gus Tech only, we know that. We're not talking about anything else, obviously. And the last profile, I don't know. I don't really know why you need 4 different profiles, but maybe you do, and it's pretty cool. I definitely do use 2 of them on a regular basis. Hey, Dad, when you're dealing with Ethernet cables, this is a great topic for the Gus Tech video we're shooting right now. Yeah, what about Ethernet cables? Plugged into the box that does the internet. Hold on, can I get you on speaker? Hold on, continue.
I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, you're not even, no, we stopped filming.
You're lying out your ass too.
I am. Have you tried going into network settings on your DVD player?
Well, it doesn't even let me get there. The remote doesn't work.
All right, after that technical snafu. So, as I was mentioning, I love the fact that you can store the different profiles, and I actually do like the fact as well that you can daisy chain these together. The one thing that it would kind of, I think, deter that from being realistic for most people is that there's a barrier of entry for this thing. It's not, these DACs are not cheap, and this one specifically is not cheap. So if you have, you know, a professional gaming team, a Dota team, a Counter-Strike team, whatever team that needs to be competitive and communicate with each other, it makes a ton of sense to use this, especially internally for practice and things of that nature. If you're just a lay user, I don't really know if there's a substantial benefit of getting the 1200 over the 1000. Honestly, it's probably never going to be used for that daisy chain feature unless you can somehow convince all your friends to spend an extra $50 on something that they probably don't need except for once or twice a year. And again, in that case, just yelling at them or taking out a baseball bat will probably be a bit more effective when you're more or less within striking distance. One of the advantages of a DAC is that if you have a headset that has a high amount of impedance, this will clarify the signal a little bit for you and improve the sound that you get. And obviously, if your microphone might be lacking a little bit, it also can amplify that microphone sound, or actually in some cases do a little bit of noise cancellation as well in kind of a post-processing environment here. It's nice because it doesn't generally cause your computer to have any other stress that you know might be caused by a sound card internally, because it's just literally you plug it in through the USB cable. Now it's powered. Everything gets processed in this box, and the sound inputs and outputs are sent to that USB cable. So your computer doesn't have to work any harder to run a DAC. You don't have to install any software. You don't have to do anything that's going to bog down your gaming system while you're mining all your cryptocurrencies. Just kidding. Don't mine cryptocurrencies, kids. It's terrible for you as a person. You should work for your money. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? So the packaging is nice enough that they send this in. One thing I didn't really love about this DAC is that they have this really stupid red USB cable. Like, it's just a little ostentatious. Like, do I like the red aesthetic the Sennheiser goes with? Absolutely. I like how it's, you know, softly accenting my headset. I like how when this thing is lit up, it shows the reds. It's nice. It's fantastic looking. But this cable looks so cheesy and stupid. Sennheiser, you jerks. Also, it's a little short. If this is going on top of your desktop and you want it to be accessible in the same area as maybe your mouse, this is notably shorter than what you're normally going to find. You see that as it whips back and forth? It's just not, I don't think they put a lot of time and effort into this cable. Now again, all it is a micro USB cable. You can swap this out with 1,000 other ones that'll work just fine. But I do wish they would have put a little bit more thought into this and made it black, or even braided like they do with literally every other cable they have on their headsets. Kind of weird that it wasn't. This is the daisy chain cable that is the, it's 3.5 millimeter, and it's a little short for a daisy chain. I mean, it's barely getting to 6 feet, 6 and maybe a couple inches. It's not long. So you have to be right next to your good buddy and smell all of his body odor when you're playing video games, in addition to being able to hear him. And I know he doesn't bathe very well, so I know that's an issue for you as it is for me. I do wish they would have made this a little bit longer. You know, maybe like a 12-foot cable so that you can run it across on the floor or something like that, because I know I have a pretty large space for playing with my friends in LAN parties, but we're not 6 feet from each other. Usually there's a pretty good amount of distance, because, you know, you try and fill in the space and people have multiple monitors and bigger desks. I just feel like the cables were an afterthought. All in all, if you're in the market for a digital audio converter, I do think that this is one of the best on the market. And one of the main reasons is because it's newer. This thing came out not more than a couple months ago, and it's got all the newest technology that Sennheiser's putting into their audio devices, which that's pretty much all they do. If you've seen anything from them in their recent you know, happenings at CES, they have more or less mastered the art of 7.1 surround sound through essentially digital output using two analog speakers. It's pretty fantastic. In fact, when you're using this DAC with the GSP 600 or the Sennheiser Game 1 or any other Sennheiser gaming headset that you might want to purchase if you have something like this, it has a 7.1 surround sound option. It also has directional sound where you can have the sound be focused in front of you or behind you or more neutral. And it is amazing. It's amazing. These are just with two speakers. And it really does feel immersive. And it feels immersive in games that even have crappier sound profiles like Counter-Strike, where it's older technology. But especially in some of the newer titles out there, Overwatch and some of these other games that have newer engines, I mean, my goodness, the surround sound is phenomenal. And the nice thing is you don't have to buy a headset that actually has 7 speakers in it and is ridiculous and the sound quality sucks. So way to go on that. And that's one of my biggest things that I love about this specific DAC. Like, you guys see this, right? Like, this cable is so freaking short. It's stupid. It makes me angry. Okay. So as you can see, the volume knob, as I turn it, you can see the volume increasing or decreasing. You can see that the white is lit up here, meaning that the bottom right, at least for me, from this orientation, is lit up. That means that that profile is active. You can see on the options here, it does have a feedback option to where you can increase the microphone feedback that goes into your cups. So if you're using the GSP 600, I always have it on the 1 Plus because that gives me a little bit of feedback so I'm not screaming into my microphone. The 2 Plus is definitely too loud in my opinion for the feedback loop. It has 7.1 surround, it has 2.1 sound, which is, or 2.0, not 2.1, 2.0 just for 2 speakers. So that's pretty fantastic. You can also set some of the other profile options. It has a preset for gaming, for music, for watching videos. The switch from headphones to your speakers is literally a tap of a button. And again, this is all tactile feedback. It doesn't vibrate when you press it, but it's very responsive and it actually feels really nice to use it. There is the option to change where the sounds come from as far as the directional sound is concerned. So this is from the front, this is from the back, this is more neutral. I usually keep it on neutral because I don't like there to be post-processing that's screwing up where I'm hearing sounds, especially in games like Counter-Strike or Overwatch. You can also see there is a bass boost option, you know, just like any other DAC is going to have. The one thing I hate about this headset is that, again, Sennheiser puts so much tech and so much engineering into this fantastic little box. They give you this crappy cable, they give you the worst, and I mean the worst, documentation I have ever seen that has come with a device that I've spent over $200 on, like ever. In fact, if you don't know what these symbols represent, which you don't, because they could mean anything, you don't know what they do. You have to actually go to Sennheiser's website. You have to then go to support, not the actual product page. You have to then go to downloads. You have to find the download for the user manual, not the quick start manual, the user manual. And then you have to go through that and you get one of the worst laid out user manuals I've ever seen in a PDF form. It is so hard to navigate and figure out what the tangible benefits this is giving you, which is kind of annoying because sometimes I want to see the exact specs that this is going to increase as far as my microphone output, as far as my, you know, minimizing the impedance or whatever else that this actually does. I want to hear it. I want to see it, right? And you can't find it anywhere on Sennheiser's website. You can't find it on their user manuals. Like, what a fantastic oversight from them. It's so stupid. And I feel like that is my biggest gripe with this device. But if you take a couple hours, you get familiar with it, you get familiar with the profiles that you like, you set them. Again, it's real easy to set them. You literally just set it up and then you hold down the profile button for I think 3 seconds. It then locks it in, saves it locally into the actual device. Once you do that, it's all gonna run like butter. But holy crap, they could have made the setup process so much more inviting and so much better, especially because most of you are probably watching this video going, do I need a DAC? What is a DAC? My headphones seem just fine on my sound card. Why would I need a DAC? If you're watching this video, yes, you need a DAC. DACs are so fantastic. They do so many great things for the sound quality and reproduction. And I wish that Sennheiser would have put a bit more effort into making it usable. Once you figure out how everything works, which took me again about an hour and a half to get comfortable with it, oh my gosh, it is fantastic. I love using it. I love how simple the design and the interface is. I just wish it was easier to learn. I can wholeheartedly recommend this if you're in the market for a DAC. And one of the main reasons being is that the 7.1 surround, the digital conversion that it does where it's all simulated through 2 speakers, I've never seen it so well implemented as I have in this DAC, ever. Through tons of sound cards, through tons of motherboards, through other DACs, not even close to how accurate and how good Sennheiser did on making that work on this headset. So I'm gonna give them major props on that point, and if you're in the market for a DAC, I don't know if there's a better one out there, so do check out the GSX 1200 from Sennheiser. There is a link to this in the description below. Please like, share this video, comment on it. We won't respond to your comments because you're toxic. I'm just kidding. Please respond to the video if you have any comments or anything you want to add to the conversation. And as always, please subscribe. We have more content coming out, and that's actually not a lie this time. It was never a lie before. Anyway, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this video. A link in the description for everything we've used to shoot this. Stay tuned because we're gonna do more things. I'm just rambling at this point. We are Gus Tech, and we'll see you next time.